Pop on jump, it's the weekend. Dream come true with the freak friends. Hitting on doors, that's the defense. Rolling with all, that's the offense. It me change, you let me preaching. With a bull shaking to my maybe drop bands. So they don't buy, and I say, so they don't buy, you the kid play, baby, tell me what you want. Julian, I know you need fun. Ever since remember we been knocking at the door. Y'all been moving paper, we be running up the school. Y'all before that pillar, we was sleeping on the floor. West side Africa, you know the shit ain't fun. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Profit, baby. Come roll with me. All night long. As times relax, my mind's relaxed. I got now from who got next. Here's my number, just send a text. You got a man and she responds, nah. Okay, showing up. I'ma let you go, don't wanna hold you up. I'ma call your phone when I put it up. Whoever let you go must be dumb as fuck. Wait for. Girl, you so fine, I pay for. Fly you first class to LA for. Body so blessed, I pray for. Body so blessed, I pray for. Because I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. My nigga, I killed it. Night long. That's the part where you get your girl, nigga. Make sure she focused, nigga. Make sure you focus, nigga. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, hit it. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. That's a hit for your ass, nigga. Hit for your ass, nigga. Prophet the One. Follow me on all Instagram sites, PROPHETTHEONE. That's Prophet the One in case you couldn't spell. But if you could, you already got it. Like Prophet like God, and then duh like duh, nigga. And then one like nigga, I'm the motherfucking one, nigga. You can't miss it. Follow.
What it do, Facebook? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Chef. What's going on with y'all tonight? I hope everyone's feeling relaxed, blessed, highly favored, and better than when you woke up. Tonight, we have a special topic to discuss, or a special person to discuss. Dwayne Haskins Jr. Welcome to our show called Celebrating Life and Understanding Death. One of the questions we always ask is, why? Why? So what I'm going to do is bring up some of the special people to me, to us, that can help us discuss this topic. What it do, y'all? Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
What up?
Okay.
Andrea Lynch, Victor Freeze Music. What's going on with you guys?
Wagwan.
What up, Andrea?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
Man, I'm good. You know, laying in the cut. You know, but we definitely when
the time was changed. I was like, you said it's 6 o'clock. I said, oh, okay, change the time.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. So what it was is I actually, when I was setting it up on my laptop, I had actually set up the stream. I didn't realize the laptop was in Central Time. Yeah, so it set it up for 10 o'clock Central Time. So, but that was corrected. So right now, I know because of that, we have a little limitation in terms of the YouTube algorithm. They only send out 3. So if you happen to be watching the stream right now, it's going to be critical that you share this stream out to your folks, please and thank you, so that people actually know we are live and popping right now.
Let me share it on Instagram. I already shared it out on the community.
Oh, I already saw that. I appreciate you too. Right, we're going to share this again to the True Pill Community Garden. Everybody, please make sure you go and subscribe on YouTube, on Facebook, to the True Pill Community Garden. It's a lot of great content, a lot of great information in there. People share their moods, their vibes, their streams of consciousness. I'm going to get you some. I'm going to get you some. Has Twitter been notified? My Twitter fam has been notified. Cool. So what's going on with y'all tonight?
We come and celebrate a brother as a good man.
Good dude. You know,
Good
none
man.
of us are perfect, but good dude, man.
Yeah.
Good dude. So first and foremost, what I want to do is send peace and love to my man, Critically Drinking, aka Rashawn Dave. I see you. Mika Marcel, what it do? What's going on? Yes, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins Jr. Danique Anthony, what's going on, my brother? I see you always on deck, always in pocket, ready to go. Quantum Love, there she goes. A1 Day 1, non-stop. It's all hot air. Oh, that's you, Andrea. All right. Peace to Marcus Rodriguez. Peace to Marcus Rodriguez. My God, it was good. All right. It's us. It's us. So, let's talk. You know, you guys saw the news. The other day. It was a little crazy, you know. When I heard it, I was like, what? Nah, you gotta be bugging. That's impossible. You know? And then all I had to do was go into Google and type a D. And all of a sudden it says Dwayne Haskins' death. When you think about the death of a person, especially the way our media, or what they call the fifth estate, the way they cover things, you would almost think that the person was not alive. And go easy, Andrea. I know where you want to go, but just ride with me.
I'm riding with you right now.
All right. So we tend to look at things in a way where there's not people that are actually grieving and feeling and seeing things in a certain way. This may be an athlete that you might have watched once a week for a few months. This might have been a celebrity that you might have watched once a week for a few months a year, each season. But they lived a whole life that you didn't know about, dealing with the kind of stuff that other people don't have to deal with. So what I would like to do is I would like to do this in a respectful fashion, right? So before we talk about all the other stuff that the other folks are going to do, I like to do something my way. All right? So let's talk about it. Dwayne Haskins Jr., born May 3rd, 1997, April 9th, 2022, was an American football quarterback who played in the National Football League for 3 seasons. He played college football at Ohio State, where he set Big Ten conference records for single-season passing yards and touchdowns as a redshirt sophomore in 2018. His success earned him the Sammy Baugh Trophy and Kellen Moore Award, along with several conference honors. So for the record, he was not just some regular dude. Let's keep it going. Haskins was selected by the Washington Redskins in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft, but was released after less than 2 seasons due to play and questions over work ethic. He signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2021 and served as a backup until his death. Born in Highland Park, New Jersey, Haskins and his family moved to Potomac, Maryland when he was in the 9th grade. There, he attended and played football at Bullis High School from 2013 to 2016, where he passed for 5,308 yards and 54 touchdowns. He originally committed to University of Maryland over Rutgers University to play college football, but later decided to attend Ohio State University after Maryland football coach Randy Edsall was fired midseason. This brother worked hard. He worked hard. Talk to me.
Was he the quarterback for that Ohio State team where Ezekiel Elliott was on there? Was that the same draft class?
No, Ezekiel came out earlier because, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Y'all don't gotta stop talking while I'm checking. Hey, talk to us.
Dwayne Haskins. They said, I heard, shout out to Stephen A. Smith this morning. He said in his theme about Dwayne Haskins, maybe God called a good person home too early. And I thought that was profound when he said that. So, a good brother, a family man. He had a wife, a mother, a father, sister. Always had a smile on his face, giving back to his community in Pittsburgh. And sometimes, like he said, sometimes God just called the good people home too soon.
I agree. Well, yeah, to answer your question, Vic, Ezekiel came out earlier than him. Ezekiel left a year before Dwayne Haskins got there.
Okay, but they was on that same squad together. I got it.
No, not together. They went to the same school. They were not together. Haskins came in 2016. Ezekiel left 2015. So that's what I'm saying. He came in a year later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I know very little about the gentleman, and all I knew was that he was a very high draft pick, in that he did well at Ohio. Matter of fact, I think he won me some money that year. Outside of that, I have very little knowledge about this situation or his stint in NFL. I know that he was playing with the Washington football team for a period, but that's when I kind of lost track of him. Because I did hear that he was having some what would be considered behavioral issues. So I didn't try to tune into that too close. So this is the first I'm hearing of it. So I'm listening to you guys intently to bring me up to speed.
So you saw my Buckeyes out there. Of course, my Michigan folks are going to have issues with them, but nonetheless, peace to anybody that has been emotionally touched by this loss. So bear with me a moment. So I'm still taking a look to see. There was some information I was trying to pull up, and I had been looking, but we're going to get to that afterwards. Pardon me, y'all. So let's play a little something here. Let me grab this off the screen. Drop something. When a life is lost, especially a young life, people try to sensationalize things, but it goes a little deeper. So let's play a little stuff, related to Dwayne Haskins Jr. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
What you think, Austin?
This is awesome. I'm going to college here.
You going to college here?
And he ended up going to college there.
Because college and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have to put the work in to be here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing college.
My first reaction once I received the text message, I didn't believe it. I'm still in shock. Still surreal to me. Yeah. It's just devastating. He was always a great leader.
It's killing it in high school.
Smile, wanted everybody around him to succeed. Was a very family-oriented young man.
Arm, that's an arm.
Yeah.
What I said?
Yeah.
What you think, Austin?
This is awesome. I'm going to college here.
You going to college here?
I want to be here because it's so place and college and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have to put the work in to be here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing college.
Wow.
Wild, huh?
Yes. All I can say is this man working on his craft and gone too soon. It was gone too soon.
Vic, I know you may be driving. Question, were you able to see what was on the screen?
Yeah, I was able to see it. I just pull up at the first out.
So talk to me. What do I know you're not really familiar with them, but in terms of just what you saw, how did that resonate with you?
I mean, you see little boys, and they got on their favorite player's jersey, and they've got their football and whatever else, or basketball or whatever their thing is. But the first thing I noticed is that his name was on the back of his jersey. His name. And he just looked like he was in his element, like he was home already. So, I mean, he looked like he's got the gift, and it showed proof in his life. So, with that, I'm always excited to see what becomes of these child stars and these lives that we project and look into and say, man, if that kid maintains that trajectory, they're going somewhere. So clearly that this one came to an unfortunate end, but it's on the edge of my seat at this point because I still don't know exactly what happened.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, there's a term, you know, my family's from Haiti, but there's a term, and of course, main language in Haiti is French. There's a term called l'enfant or les enfants or l'enfant de la promesse. L'enfant de la promesse. Everybody knows one of those people, either in their family, in their town, in their village, in their city, someone they've met. That person that they know, they're going to be somebody special. They're going to do something. And you saw it from way early. Les enfants de la promesse. That means is the promised child. Y'all knew that special kid. That kid in the hood that he had that talent. He had that special something to him. And you knew he was going to make it out. It could have been that kid in school that had that special talent. And it didn't even need to involve jumping high, running fast, or bouncing a ball, or wrestling. It was something special about them. So when you see that, it's funny when you mentioned his name being on the back of there and how young he was, saying that he was going to become a Buckeye. And go figure, he became a freaking Buckeye. Crazy. Crazy. So, you know, for those of you that don't understand what took place, hold on one second. Let me max this out real quick. Just to give you guys a perspective on what's going on.
New details about a tragic collision in Florida. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins, a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, struck and killed by a truck overnight while walking on a highway. Reaction pouring in from around the league. Head coach Mike Tomlin calling the 24-year-old a great teammate and a tremendous friend. Here's ABC's Alex Brichet.
Tonight, the sports world rocked by the sudden and tragic death of a young NFL quarterback, Dwayne Haskins. The Florida Highway Patrol says a 24-year-old was hit by a dump truck while crossing this stretch of I-595 in Fort Lauderdale around 7 this morning. Officers saying it's not known why Haskins was walking on the highway. He was about to enter his second season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, having signed a new deal in March. Haskins had joined his teammates in South Florida to train. Today, head coach Mike Tomlin saying in a statement, "I'm devastated. Haskins quickly became a part of our Steelers family and was one of our hardest workers." Teammate TJ Watt tweeting, "Haskins was always making people smile, never taking life for granted."
They're overcome with just the grief of it all.
Brooke Pryor covers the Pittsburgh Steelers for ESPN.
This is a guy who is known for his smile and just being vivacious and just being a person that you want to be around.
Haskins setting Big Ten single-season records in passing yards and passing touchdowns. But after being drafted, he struggled adjusting to the pressures of being a franchise quarterback. After Washington cut him, Pittsburgh provided a second chance.
One thing he said that really stuck out to me is he said, "I feel like..."
Now,
I got questions.
I know you do. That's why I stopped it where I stopped it.
I think if he would have got up to Mike Tomlin when he first came out of the league, when he first came and got drafted, I believe it would have been different. Instead of being in Washington, D.C. with their messy situation they got going on down there.
So I want you to talk about that.
Sometimes you need leaders who look like you. And when you don't have leaders who look like you, because Mike Tomlin has been with Pittsburgh a long time, he can lead men. And I think sometimes the NFL don't think that black men can lead men, and I think they're sadly mistaken. And I believe that if Dwayne Haskins would have got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, he wouldn't have been in why it would have been different for me, just me.
I mean, your feelings are definitely valid. Your feelings are definitely valid, right? Mm-hmm. The question I'm going to have to ask you is, why?
Why?
Here's the question. Before we get to why, what the fuck actually happened? I saw what I saw. We said that he was struck in a traffic accident. But what can you break down more of what happened as far as what actually happened to cause his death?
So what I'm going to do is pull up one of the actual news reports. Right. And for the record, trigger alert.
Yes.
The words that I shall be reading are not my own. And I'm actually pulling this. I'll share it with you, so you guys know my sources. I wanted to ensure that I kept this as non-sensational as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So Vic, here we go. Let me get rid of this thing. I can't. What we know and don't know about quarterback Dwayne Haskins' death. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins died when he was struck by a dump truck Saturday morning as he tried to cross a highway on foot in South Florida, authorities said. The former Ohio State University star and Heisman Trophy finalist was just 24. Authorities have so far released few details about the circumstances of his death. Of his death. Here's what we know and don't know about the fatal crash, his short-lived career, and how those who knew him have reacted. Let's take a look at a little clip of the area.
G'day. Next time you holiday, why go small when you can go Australia?
As they try and sell us some shit.
Icons, or relax out here. Whatever you do, don't go small. Go Australia.
Tragic death of Dwayne Haskins, the 24-year-old quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was killed after being hit by a dump truck while trying to cross on foot an interstate in South Florida. Haskins was in Florida working out with his teammates. Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool tweeted this message about his friend, saying in part, "I spent your final moments with you and I can't help but think about how selfless you were in those moments." He ended by saying, "You are what I strive to be." Haskins spent the last season with the Steelers as a backup to Ben Roethlisberger. He tweeted this, "I only had the privilege to know D. Hask for a short time, but in that time, I got to meet a young man that didn't seem to ever have a bad day." Before the NFL, Haskins played for Ohio State and was a Heisman finalist in 2018. A memorial there, as you see, set up outside of the stadium in Ohio.
Me growing up, I watched a lot of Ohio State football. I remember him. I remember everything he did for the school. He was a big reason about why I came here.
Never take for granted, make the most out of every second. Just even a dude like him, like a national athlete, can be taken away in like a split second.
Former Buckeyes head coach Urban Meyer called Haskins one of the greatest quarterbacks in the school's history, but an even better son, teammate, and friend.
G'day. Next time you holiday, why go small when you can go Australia? Go bigger sculptures, prehistoric rainforests, or grab lunch here. Whatever you do, don't go small.
No commercials. till after we get monetized. But yeah, so did that bring you up to speed a little bit, Vic?
Yeah. It said that he was crossing the highway. Hang on one second.
So hold on one second. While you're doing that, let me send some love out because we had some folks that jumped into the room. My guy, APTV, Absalom Pianki, aka 444, aka Mac Evershit. You heard? Peace, peace. I see you, Quantum, Tanique, AP, and then our lady, Tawana G. What it do, Tawana? Okay, Drake on love. E Blizzy, yes. We cooked tonight. Get you a plate, and you could get you some of that fine china. No styrofoam for you tonight, homie. Let's go. Danny K. Let's see. Backyard Blitz, super sad. I was looking forward to how he was going to compete for the starting job. Me too, because he was going up against Rudolph, right? But anyway, everyone that knew him said he was such a positive kid. Life is way too short, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I could say to disagree or expound on that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you, AP, my guy. Hey. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it said that he was hit by a dump truck on a highway, crossing it in the morning.
Well, from what I understand, I thought he was walking along the highway, and that's where facts turn to twist. So let's take a look. So it was trying to cross, because trying to cross and walking along are two different things. So can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Haskins was trying to cross Interstates 595 westbound lanes near the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in Broward County when the dump truck hit him. The Florida Highway Patrol said the incident was reported shortly after 6:30 a.m. Patrol said he'd been walking on the highway for unknown reasons. Patrol said in a new release, further details about what led up to the incident were not available. Recent days, Haskins was in South Florida working out with some Steelers teammates. Is captured in Instagram stories from Haskins and running back Najee Harris. So they go to speak about the career. But what I want to do is I want to keep it holistic, and let's keep thinking about those particular moments. All right. No more particular moments, just a bunch of shirtless guys. Hold on. So, hey, Backyard Blitz, Peeps, my guy. If you guys ever get a chance, go to Backyard Blitz. Backyard Blitz is a dope commentary show. Speak a lot about football, and this is not just from guys that are, just guys that watch.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, Brandon Peebler, the Fly, he actually played professional ball in Europe, and that's one of my boys. So check his show out, The Backyard Blitz on YouTube. Please go subscribe.
Are you reading what he said, Jeff?
Oh, you know what? I just clicked on it, and I saw this message, so I was responding to that one.
Okay.
From my understanding, his rental car ran out of gas, and he was trying to cross when he was hit by the dump truck. Okay.
Oh.
Man. Peeps.
Because I'm trying to get a beat on why would he even be walking on the highway.
If that's the case, that's the missing link that we can't figure out why he was on that damn road. If that was what happened, that is reason why he was on that road. Okay.
Yo, Peeps, listen. I just threw the link in the chat. If you wanted to jump in and bring a little bit of clarity to this as well, you're always welcome to the crib. So I just dropped that link in there too, because I was looking for extra information.
Yes.
One of the questions was, toxicology report. I know a lot of people were trying to look for a toxicology report, but there was a lot of contention about a certain thing that took place in the conversation. And, people immediately wanted to look to certain things. One of the most calming aspects of the information that we've gotten is that there were no nefarious issues, because of course in the era of CTE, in the era of so many controversies and drama, sometimes people have a tendency to want to put the more dramatic spin on a story.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, even though death, the way that it occurred, is dramatic enough, I'm glad that there's no extra BS that people want to throw in there.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys.
Say it again.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys. I don't think it makes sense that Michael Jordan's father, in a car with all that money, that expensive car with reinflatable tires and all kinds of bells and whistles, OnStar and all kinds of things of that nature, while he was stranded on the side of the road. And I don't know that. I don't know a lot of millionaires changing their own tires or walking to go get gas. Not to say that it's not possible. It just a lot of things have to align perfectly for something of that nature to become an accident. That's a lot of fucked up ducks that gotta line up. Like that kind of shit.
Do you think that it's because, you have a higher degree of alignment in terms of review and circumstance, or are you just jaded?
Yeah, I'm probably jaded.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty and candor. I mean, you ever hung out with somebody that was brilliant at a particular thing, but then certain aspects of their decision making was just skewed? Those people where they may have been an awesome executive at this company or awesome at one thing, but then they made a move that just didn't make any sense to you in another arena.
Yeah.
So common sense is not always common. The way that you will handle a particular situation may not always be common, but before we even get to that, I'd like to bring up my guy. Me and this brother traveled together. That's my brother from a Boise, Idaho mother. Backyard Blitz, aka Brandon the Fly Peebler. My guy. Let's go. What's up, peeps?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, brother. I'm chilling. What's going on with you, man? I see you doing big things on your page. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. I told you I was going to jump on one of these times.
Yo, man, I appreciate you. So, normally if we would be talking about psychology, we would have a professional psychologist. So in terms of you, I want you to kind of talk about your understandings of the story.
Yeah, man. So, I keep up on all the football stuff. So my biggest thing is he was training in Miami, I believe it was, South Florida. He was training with a bunch of guys. He was there with Chase Claypool. He was there with Najee Harris. He was there with a bunch of guys that train in the offseason down there. He was on his way to one of his training sessions at practice, and his rental car, I don't know if he was paying attention to the gas gauge or not, but obviously the news that I heard is that he ran out of gas. So in the process of him running out of gas, he's trying to go find a way to get some gas so he doesn't miss his training appointment or whatever it was. And as soon as he was trying to cross the highway, he got hit by the dump truck. So real unfortunate, obviously.
Yeah.
I got one question. Hey, what's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Here's my question, Seth. Because the time matters. Because they say Saturday morning, if I heard you correct. But you know how you do this thing where 12:01 is considered morning of the next day, right?
Right.
4 a.m. looks a lot different than 8 a.m. And what I'm trying to understand is, I spent a lot of time in construction and working, different hours of the night and dealing with trucks coming in and out. Dump trucks are pretty slow. And if there's a driver, which I imagine that there would be, the likelihood of him being on a highway and someone crossing the highway and him not seeing them to the point that he didn't make any. So I would like to hear the story that the driver, who I'm 100% sure if he survived this, which should be the case, I would like to hear his version of what happened. Did he speak at all? Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that. I wasn't sure who was all in the car with him. My understanding, I thought that he was the driver because he was the one that was trying to go get the gas from my understanding of it.
I'm looking for the driver of the dump truck.
Oh, the driver of the dump truck. Absolutely. They do move kind of slow, but if it's on an interstate, slow, what is that? 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour
in the dark.
So, when it's dark outside, and even when you look at headlights, your depth perception is off. It can seem like he's further away than he is, especially being a dump truck and not knowing that it's, a bigger truck. It could have seemed like it was further away just because of where the lights were, potentially. So, my thing is, he could have been, he's a world-class athlete. He could have thought that, hey man, I got this. That might seem like it's close for some people. I'm just going to run and go across. It's not going to be a big deal. And then in the middle of the process, he didn't realize how close it was, nor that how fast that truck was going. I obviously, he got hit by it and was killed. So I definitely think that, I don't think it was intentional. That was my first thought immediately because of some things in his past. But then hearing more and more about what a positive guy he was, I just think it was a freak accident.
And I believe those things still happen. Anybody that's watched, what was that movie? The one with the people that were supposed to get on the plane and they didn't get on the plane.
You like Final Destiny?
Final Destination, thank you.
Final Destination, yeah.
I don't drive behind trucks that have a rebar because of that movie. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or the logs.
Or the logs or the metal piping.
Yes,
none of
that. I just get him. I move on the other side away from them.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Like, it'd be like people like me loading them things and you have a bad day, you know what I mean? Whatever. And then it's up to the driver to secure those things. And half the time they be on the phone, they don't care. They may put that thing on tight or they may not. You got a lot of brand new young drivers in the industry because there's so many truckers that have left the industry. So there's a lot of young guys. And when you driving behind those things, man, you want to not. Let's just say that. Debris and all kinds of things come off of those things. And that's why I'm a little perplexed.
So I got to ask a question. So let's do this because it seems like it's hard for you to fathom, right, Vic? So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I'm going to ask you a couple questions just to connect a couple synapses for you. So you haven't been driving at night and had this situation. Oh, shit. It just came out of nowhere. Have you ever just had a day just came out of nowhere moment?
Sure. In driving, yes.
Okay. The people walking have done so as well. So what I'm saying for you is, you were saying that what's the likelihood of somebody driving fast enough down an interstate to hit someone that they didn't see going at interstate speeds?
You
get what I'm
missing
saying?
the other angle is this. That's why I asked about what time. Because if
It
we're
was
talking
6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the morning, so at dusk, you know.
No, don't go.
Dawn.
No. You said
Dawn.
6:30.
Well,
You said
John.
6. Right. You're saying, but you don't know when dawn. Dawn doesn't mean it's at a specific time. Dawn is when the sun begins to show over the horizon and starts to rise. That's dawn. But dawn, that 6:30 does not mean dawn. What if the sun had
Okay.
not arisen at that point?
I'm gonna give you that. So this is the contingency that I said. If it was daytime, there's no excuse for the driver to not have seen him.
Okay.
If it's nighttime, there's no excuse for him not to have seen those bright lights coming from a dump truck for however distance when he decided to cross a highway. Not a regular. You'd be more likely, myself, to get hit by a car on a regular street.
You're making an assumption, though. You're making an assumption that he would have had enough. He would have had enough awareness, reaction time, and distance to avoid. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, the truck couldn't see him, but he couldn't see that truck coming at maybe 60, 65, 70 miles per hour in the dark.
He's a professional athlete.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A lane. Listen. A lane in a highway is 8 feet
He's
wide.
not the Flash, bro. A dump truck at night. It's not lit like a football field. It's a dump truck coming at, let's say, 60 to 70 miles per hour.
Right.
And we don't even know if the lights were on. We don't know, but it's at nighttime. So now you're saying he's a professional athlete. He's not a running back. He's not a wideout. He's not a cornerback. He's a quarterback.
He's not a little old lady either.
But this is not the pocket. This is not him scrambling out the pocket, bro. Like, come on, son.
No, and if you think about 65 miles per hour, that's 95 feet per second. Okay.
Right.
And how elevated that headlights are on a dump truck. If he's looking out for a car or a normal pickup truck, it's going to seem like a little bit further away because of how high those lights are in a dump truck. So you have a dump truck going 65 miles per hour, which is 95 feet per second. He's thinking, okay, maybe I got 10, 15 seconds to run across this. It'll be no big deal. They're going to slow down. They're going to see me. It's dark. I don't know what type of clothing he was wearing, if it was dark clothing, light clothing, whatever it was. 95 feet per second. How many yards is that per second? It's a lot. It's a lot. So, and we don't know. My assumption would be that
that's like 31.3 yards
per second, right?
Per second.
So we're talking, if he was 3 seconds away from the dump truck, it is over 100 yards away, which is pretty far, right? And then you say 6 seconds, that's 200 yards. So let's say it's 6 seconds. He goes, okay, I'm going to try to jog across this real quick. You said, how many feet or how many for wide is the lane? So he's got to be sprinting across that if he's thinking that it's even close. So let's say he's at a slow jog thinking I'm going to make it, no problem. Oh crap, I'm not going to make it. Now you're in no man's land, right? Whether there's another car there or if it's just the dump truck. The dump truck's starting to slow down, but a dump truck can't stop on a dime. We both know that. What I want to know is how fast was the dump truck going at impact? When did he see him? Because you can't see in the dark. Your lights are beyond of what your reaction time is. So if you see somebody, it's too late. If they're right, it's too late. You're going to hit your brakes and you're going to slow down. You're still going to probably create an impact. So those are the things I want to know. he probably just misjudged it. Is the simplest answer I would think.
I mean, they can tell by the length of the skid, the speed that the truck was going. That's after the facts. Maybe forensics will come out about that. The reason that I seem adamant about it, because I honestly, like I say, don't have any real details. But you can see this, right?
Right.
I spent a lot of time out there running across those same highways for this reason and that one. Right? Nighttime and daytime. So I'm very familiar with the perceived speed versus the actual speed and how fast a large truck can get up on you. So I definitely co-sign what you're saying as far as the rate of speed, and I'm perhaps misjudging it, but without there being some kind of outside factor, I can't see two sober people making that accident. So
what about a tired person
who just finished working out all day with some of the most rigorous workouts? A professional athlete.
Or think about the dump truck guy. He's just getting to work 6:30 in the morning potentially, right? Dump truck guy maybe working all night or just starting to get to work. And we know how we all are when we first are starting to get to work. We're tired. We're trying to wake up. We got our coffee, right? All it took, maybe the truck driver, and these are all a bunch of assumptions, right? But he's groggy. Who's looking for somebody in the road on the interstate?
So you're making my point. What I'm thinking is that's why I would like to know, because they said that he was crossing the highway. So it would be imperative to know where the contact happened, because it would be way more likely that a groggy dump truck driver veered off of the road into the shoulder and clipped a pedestrian way before
I see what you're saying.
A pedestrian just took a wild chance going across a highway. That's why I said it would be. I've stepped into a regular street and said, "Oh shit, there was a car," because they're moving at a low rate of speed. There's a low sound barrier, and whatever, and basically you can kind of take that for granted. But when you're crossing a highway, you're on red alert because it's a highway. You're expecting cars coming at a speed that you may not be able to recover. Absolutely. So I would think that if he was in his right mind, that even if it was under any condition, tired or any other kind, that he would be taking that approach very seriously across a highway, no matter what time of day it was. So I would think that's why I wanted to say, what happened with the driver? I would like to know that, because I've seen plenty of inebriated drivers, sleepy drivers do the most ridiculous things and put other people's lives in jeopardy and danger. So that's what I was saying. It's just something just not lining up. But that's just my issue. I'm gonna let it ride.
Yeah. So you're saying basically that it's very unlikely that Dwayne Haskins was in the middle of the road getting hit by a dump truck who just flat out didn't see him. You're saying that it was the dump truck driver that was most likely acting negligent and drowsy, and maybe shouldn't have been behind the wheel of a car and clipped a pedestrian.
I would find that way more likely than the other alternative.
Yeah,
without knowing.
I think that's a lot more likely, right? And we hear all the time about police officers getting clipped off to the side when they have somebody pulled over, right? We hear about that all the time. That's why they have a low rate of speed going through construction zones, for people out there that are working on the roads, right? So you can see if there's something that happens, go ahead and hit the brakes or whatever. My biggest thought is with Dwayne Haskins, why? I mean, you have a cell phone. Like, this isn't like in the 80s where you have to go get this is a guy that makes multi-million dollars. He's potentially being a starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he can't call AAA. That's my thing. Like, why is he getting out of his car on the freeway? I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand. Yeah, that's the part that I don't understand.
Yeah, me too. That's the part that I was trying to. I would even ask why he didn't have a driver.
Well, the
Right.
thing is, when they
of those guys
travel,
driving fast.
because right now they're on their own dime. You know, this is not official practice. They went down there to work out together. You know, so I can understand. I can understand them getting an SUV, getting a rental car, and not being vigilant enough to make sure they have gas in it. So while we here, let me just send some special love. Okay, you're unfrozen. You're unfrozen, peeps.
I was trying to figure that out. I was like, am I frozen on his end or is that just on my end? But then somebody
At
commented, I was
first
like,
I thought
I
that
better
was your
check that out.
avatar. Look, I thought that was your avatar, bro. Yeah. So let me say what's up to some of the folks that jumped in. We saw Tawana, Black TV. Yes. Brandon is one of my folks, one of my personal friends as well. Gail at Night, moderated to the stars. Jen, on the block with Jen. I see you. It's all
I'm not
hot
frozen
air.
anymore, Jen.
Right. And for the record, remember I told you, I don't know if you saw that, my guy is a professional football player, and you Google Brandon the Fly Peebler. All right, you Google him and you'll see what he was doing. Dope player.
It's a long time.
See. Hey man, everything's a long time ago when you reach our age, family. You know the deal. Look, Black said Brandon's neck's hurting.
Bro, everything hurts now. Everything.
Right. Salutations, Chef Vic. Salute to the panel. Currently working, just stopping by. My brother, thank you. All the way from Canada, my guy. All right. So now we want to go a little deeper now. And we want to talk, there was a lot of vitriol, a lot of controversy, a lot of issues that people had with Adam Schefter. I had my own feelings about it. I moved to the beat of my own drum. So what I want to do first, because I know Vic he works like 14 jobs in 18 hours. Some of them overlap. So I'm gonna let him lay back a little bit. Andrea. So let's talk about it first.
Yes.
And let me pull it up as well. So folks, there was a little bit of an issue that took place because Adam Schefter, of course, who is a big, sportscaster, who literally just signed a $9 million per year deal, issued a tweet, right? So before I go into the opinions of the tweet, what I'm going to do is share the tweet with you, just so we could talk about it. Here we go. The tweet. Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before struggling to catch on with Washington and Pittsburgh in the NFL, died this morning when he got hit by a car in South Florida, per his agent, Cedric Saunders. Haskins would have turned 25 years old on May 3rd. Now, in relation to that particular tweet, a lot of people have become upset by it. A lot of people felt that, and they were very vocal about it. People felt that it was insensitive, it was wrong, there was a problem. So I'm gonna let Andrea, I want you to tell me what you think about it.
Now, for the record, I love Adam Schefter, okay? This time he just fucked up, okay, for real. Because I'm just feeling like he's a little insensitive. Because I just didn't appreciate the tweet. What he should have just said to Dwayne Haskins. To me, he was trying to get the story out. He wanted to be the first one to break the news. Now I get that. I understand that's his job. That's his moneymaker. But he was a little insensitive. He could have said a husband, a family man. Why you gotta talk about he had problems in Washington D.C.? We all know he had problems in Washington D.C. That's That's not nothing new. And I just feel like he was insensitive, and I had a problem with it. You know, the man just died. He had a wife, a mom, a dad, a sister. You know, and you get paid all that damn money, you can't do it right.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I thought you were going to come from a different angle. That's funny. But yeah, I do agree with where you were coming from. But one of the guests in the chat is always like the additional character in this thing we have going on here. They want to know, why the hell does it look like Vic is in a kiddie park? You're creeping me out, bro.
I'm on the playground. Yeah. On the playground. Remember that? Okay. Ain't no children.
I'm gonna leave that alone. So,
and then one more thing.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I don't play the race card, but you know what? Watching my brothers who was on Twitter and acting a damn fool, they was all black brothers saying Adam Schefter always doing this to us. And so, you know, I don't feel that way, but Des Bryant was on fire with his response. Okay, Des Bryant was, and he was like, "This is why I don't play football right now, because they don't care about us." Okay, that's what Des Bryant said. So I mean, I'm gonna give Adam Schefter a little pass, but sometimes he needs to slow down before he's trying to be the first one to get the story out. And sometimes they treat our black athletes wrong and insensitive, and don't act like we got family, mothers, sisters who care, and kids.
Okay. Pump the brakes. Okay. First of all, Adam Schefter is the equivalent to Woj for the NBA. Am I correct? Kind of like the story guy. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so earlier, I don't think
like a Woj J. Smith.
I don't know. I think if you were looking at the tweet, the one thing that he said in there that could be construed as negative was struggling. He didn't say struggling quarterback, but he did say struggles in Washington and Pittsburgh. So I guess they say don't ever speak ill of the dead.
Yes.
I don't know that he was speaking ill of him, and I think that was quite factual that he did have struggles. That wasn't like a secret. But you know, you say, wait, too soon, whatever. I don't.
Well, if you gonna put it like that, it was just like Gail Key asking Kobe Bryant, best friend, about his.
That ain't the same thing. I feel you, but that ain't the same thing.
Yes, it is.
That's like something slanderous or something that could be that he's already. Come on. Those don't go. I don't listen. I didn't know that there was an outrage about this to start with, but if you was looking for something to be outraged at, it ain't his tweet.
No, there was another one that was absolutely that I kind of got pissed off about. So I saw Adam Schefter's tweet, and at first I was just thinking that he was just trying to describe who this person was, because I mean he's not a starter in the league. He has kind of been pushed off to the wayside, and when he said struggle in Washington, it almost kind of was connecting dots. Super inappropriate still. Like, the dude died. I don't care like what his career was. Like, he was the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, he was killed in a traffic accident or whatever. The worst one was Gil Brandt. Did you guys hear this one? Yeah. About Gil Brandt on NFL radio? This one's gonna piss you guys off. So if you guys need a moment after this, because I listened to this live. So Gil Brandt, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a former Dallas Cowboys executive. He was voted into the Hall of Fame. This guy's old. He's like almost 90 years old. He probably shouldn't be on radio anymore. But this is what he had to say about Dwayne Haskins. He said I hate any time anybody is killed or anybody dies. But he was a guy who was living to be dead. They told him, don't leave school under any circumstances. Don't leave school early. You just don't have the work habits. You don't have this. You don't have that. What did he do? He left school early. So then he goes on, he goes, maybe if he stayed in school a year, he wouldn't be doing silly things like jogging on a highway. So that one really pissed me off because that was way out of bounds, man.
Yeah. I don't care how much time in that. That ain't nothing to say.
No.
Like, yeah, what was crazy is I literally pulled
right.
it up.
That's downright rude. See, that's what I'm talking about. The people that are speaking. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, have mercy.
You know, but here's the thing. In terms of the racial overtones or connotations that could be drawn from this, I'll be honest with you. When I look at it and I look at Adam Schefter and everything he's just gotten, and in terms of the way that he moved, I believe that he moved a little too literally at that time. And the level of a literal acuity, which is specificity, he put too much in the soup. He did too much explanation. He should have just stated that this person lost their life, and kind of kept it moving. But the thing is, sometimes in a relationship, the thing about that lady that you met that made her look so cute and intriguing, that things she used to do or say in conversations, just like with, ladies that I've dated, the fact that I can remember what they were wearing or the words that they said specifically 8-9 months ago, right? All of that stuff, that made me so intriguing. That was a beautiful thing. But then now, 3 years later, you're in a relationship, and now I'm able to quote exactly what she said in the argument. Now I'm the asshole, So the things that you pull in that make you great sometimes throw you into a crazy moment. And I believe that his level of detail got him. He wanted to make the scoop. He wanted to have the exclusive, and he put a little too much on that plate. I don't think that there was racial overtones attached to it. He did not insinuate anything nefarious, illegal, drug-related, toxicology-related. What he did was he added context into his career performance. And that was inappropriate. But guess what? If you ever been at a funeral, there's always somebody that says some inappropriate shit at a funeral. And it's all based on who's listening and how sensitive they are.
And I think, to add on to that is, I think we're all still getting used to living in the world where, we live in 240 character moments on Twitter, right? And they can be sent so fast, and they are there. Once they're there, people are screenshotting, especially if it's something that wasn't good, kind of like what Adam Schefter did, right? And people are quick to bring that up. He deleted that shortly, it was like 5 minutes. Quickly, he deleted it, came back up. He was on his podcast today. He was apologizing about it, saying it was insensitive. It's not what he was trying to do. At the same time, I think none of us grew up with a phone in our hand. When we were growing up, nobody did. Matter of fact, if you found a Twitter of mine from when I was in high school, oh man, would have had a whole bunch of stuff that was in there about how trying to get out of school, putting hay bales in front of the door to try to get out of school for the day. But I think we're still getting used to living in that world, and we see these things happen all the time. I mean, you can even go back to Will Smith smacking somebody on TV. People say stuff, and you forget that can be one of the things that happen. You get smacked in the mouth for it, right? I think we're still getting used to living in that world, and what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, how fast things can be brought up, how quickly things are saved. And there's no edit button on Twitter. You have to actually delete and retweet now. So I think we're all still getting used to that world, but still, nonetheless, a mistake is a mistake, right?
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up. Brother. For the record, guys, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, if you saw any of the Will Smith and Jada and Chris Rock stuff, so you heard it yourself, okay? We don't smack guys in the mouth for talking junk only in the black community now. You heard it yourself, all right? It's universal, okay?
Okay.
man.
Peebs will smack a motherfucker for his wife, boy. Don't mess around.
Oh, real quick.
All right? But yeah. So, you know, what's a lot of times, you know, and Vic and Andrea, we ride together. Vic is one of the guys that I consider a balance to my lunacy. One of the things that we try to do whenever we do shows or talk topics, we try to find some sort of action steps or find some sort of learning or something to look at or a different perspective within this particular issue that we carry, you know, that we covering. I know there's got to be more, and I have a feeling we're going to have to come back to the issue, but it has to be more than just look both ways before you cross the road or truck safety. I feel that it has to, and I use the term I feel. Why? Because when we look at life and then we look at death, we always try to find some level of meaning. We try to figure out, what is it? Why did this happen? There has to be something. Even though Vic may push back on me, I believe that a certain part of his spirit is like, nah, man, it's got to be something else. Why? That's why in the thumbnail you see a big ass why in the middle, because that's the questions we ask, right? I wonder, why is it that we try to do that? Could he have just been a victim of simple circumstance? Did it have to be some greater good? Is there something we can learn from this? Is there something we could share? You know, some people's deaths, they have the opportunity to be considered a martyr because somehow, coincidentally, some sort of cause is attached to them. The crazy thing is, that's what his family's looking for. The why. It's got to be more. It doesn't make any sense. It's got to be more. It doesn't make any sense. Because while we're sitting here discussing it and just, you know, mulling over facts and figures, there's people that are actually feeling. Do you believe it was just a coincidence?
Man, I don't believe anything is just a coincidence. I think there's random acts, right? Maybe wrong place, wrong time type of thing, but I don't know. Like, there's too many things that have happened in my life that I can tie back to certain things or somebody, like, feeling like somebody's looking out for me. And I can't explain it. There's too many times when my grandfather passed, I was in Germany at the time. I woke up not knowing that he had passed, and I swear I saw him in my room. I can't explain it. I've cried like less than 5 times in my life. One of the times that I cried the most was when I left and I saw my grandpa the last time before I left. We never cried. Neither one of us did, but we did. Absolutely, like, bawled, just like holding on to each other. Like, we knew something was going to happen that we consciously didn't know. So was it fate ultimately that put him in that spot? What was going through his mind that he had to cross that Interstate 4? That's something that we'll never know. You know, what was going through his mind. And I think, you know, death is such a sudden thing that the living, we always want to feel like that there's something more to why it happened. Because it doesn't make sense, right? When somebody just dies and then you're looking at their body that's just their vessel that's just laying there lifeless, when you know how much life was in that particular person, you know, memories that you have, you always want to search for more. You know, was there a good reason that this happened, or X, Y, or Z? I think that's just the normal thing that we have. But at the end of the day, I think that you just have to, I think the thing that we can take away from it the most is life is extremely precious. Extremely precious. It can be taken in a moment's notice. One day we are going to wake up and it will be our last day and we're not going to know it. So I think whenever we hear stories like this, the biggest takeaway that I can is just it's so precious, and just never take it for granted, because it can and it will end one day.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things when I see death, especially unexpected death, circumstantial death, coincidental death, one of the things that I do think about is those that need me, my children, my family. Me, when I say I'm ready to go, I believe there's ready and there's prepared, right? So prepared is something that you're able to do later on. Being ready to go, that's Tupac shit. That's the gangster stuff, like, kamikaze stuff. Prepared is different. Prepared is having your family growth plan, wealth plan, understanding that you actually are going to be worth more when you're in the ground than when you're out here doing whatever. That's prepared, And the craziest thing is that I share, my old lady, she hated what I shared. I would have dreams about different aspects of my life. When I was 17, I had a dream about my son. Like, I literally met my son in a dream, and in real life, he looked like him. He told me his name in the dream. I was 17. He was born when I was almost 29. And, I had a lot of dreams, but the thing is, I never dreamt of myself past the age of 50, right? I'm going to be 50 in August, all right? But I never saw myself past the age of 50. And I had always thought, I've been shot, I had been stabbed. Growing up in Brooklyn, there was things that happened. What's crazy is I never had a fear until at one point when I started hitting my 40s and taking inventory on my life, and started realizing how much my children need me, how much they need a dad. I'm almost 50. I got a six-year-old, and then understand the level of closeness and all of that stuff. That's when I start recognizing how fragile life is, and it started changing the game from that level of gangster to shit. I can't go. Fuck, let me go make a doctor's appointment. And then when I drive down the road, I drive a little differently. And then when you see situations like this, people that we expect to have so much more than us, that people dream to be like, and then to recognize the fragility of life as well, So, yes, Jen said 38,000 people die annually via vehicle accidents. There's no mystery, really. It happens often. People die. Absolutely. There's a lot of people that have had COVID that, nothing happened, but there's a lot of people that have. The thing is, I'm speaking to just that 0.000000001% opportunity for you to be a piece of that. It's a chance within itself, It's a chance within itself. What is this show supposed to be? Honestly, this show for me was supposed to be an opportunity to honor a fallen soldier within the football game, a kid who you've seen on TV already as a child, claiming what he was going to become. He was les enfants de la promesse in French. That, if you translate from French, that means he was promised child. One of those kids that said, I'm going to do this, and he actually did it. And he was taken from the earth, So, no sensationalism here. It's just real conversation, honoring the kid, This wasn't going to be a long stream, but, I wanted to send a little respect and honor to him. So before we start to Rep, this what I want to do is play this thing here again.
Yeah.
What you think, Ohio State?
This is awesome. I'm going to college here.
You going to college here?
I want to be here because college and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have to put work in to be here. So I'm really looking forward to coming here to college.
My first reaction once I received the text message, I didn't believe it. I'm still in shock. Still surreal to me. I was just devastated. He was always a great leader, always had an infectious smile, wanted everybody around him to succeed. Was a very family-oriented young man.
Told you how I wanted it, just like that. Yeah. What I say?
Yeah.
What you think, Ohio State?
This is awesome. I'm going to college here.
You going to college here?
I want to be here because college and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I have to put work in to be here. So I'm really looking forward to coming here to college.
Wow.
You almost got me, bro. You almost got me.
Almost.
Hey, bro. Hey, I'm not saying that I do it, but I'm gonna tell you like some very strong lady told me. You gotta cry more than funerals, bro.
You're a little muffled. You're a little muffled, Vic. I wanted you to sound like you're about to cook, brother. Go ahead.
I said this is for Brandon. I said I can't say that I'm not one of the same kind, but you gotta cry at more than funerals, bro. You gotta let that shit out sometimes. It's not healthy to hold that shit.
Oh no, I feel you. A lot actually. You can talk to my wife. I don't know what it is, but it sometimes like I just process things differently where I don't cry. But when I do, it's crazy. That one almost gets me. I'll tell you what, my daughter brings it out in me the most. Like I'll cry over her about a bee sting, bro, in a heartbeat.
Hey,
when I heard
Seth, can you look up Occam's razor? Is that the?
Oh man, come on, man! We're about to go deep with it. Listen, yes, sir. Now you're talking my stuff.
When I heard the news, I called my son. My son is 23, and I was like, "Hey, Quinn, did you hear about the football?" He was like, "Yeah, Ma, I did." And it just made me sad because he's like, he had his whole life. He just got married. It's just crazy.
What's crazy? So, when we're talking about, like I said, that it's fate. Like I don't think anything happens by accident. I'm gonna peel back this onion for a minute. The precise time that the dump truck driver had to leave home to be at that particular moment had to be a certain time. The time that he hit a red light had to be a certain time. The time that Dwayne Haskins, all these things, right? All came together in some sort of, I don't want to say harmony, but you kind of get some sort of synchronization for that event to happen. So that's why I say I don't think it happened by accident, because there's too many of those little things that just lined up for that moment to happen.
You
That's
ever heard
the
of
part
Lemony
that's
Snicket?
Lemony
You
Snicket.
ever heard of Lemony? Yeah, a series of
the
unfortunate events.
Yes.
And literally, when I talked about the fragility of life, in terms of understanding, you've seen a situation where you literally hit the brakes like this, and then you saw you could have been hit by a tractor trailer. You could have been in some sort of collision. To understand just the coincidental aspect of our survival. 3 seconds here, a millisecond there. You've seen those videos where a lady just by a fraction of a hair almost gets hit by a train. Those just misses. This is the fragility of life. And you look at somebody who is an NFL quarterback, you know their average heights, their average weights, and the amount of impact that they are trained to take and expect. So you would think that if anybody that should be able to handle that situation naturally, right? You would expect them to be able to handle them within a fashion that showed their professional prowess. That's why I didn't argue with Vic on it, because psychologically he's like, well, hold on. How fast does he run to 40? Come on, man. He's a professional. It doesn't make sense. And in this particular topic, normally one of the things Vic and I does is, we have these debates back and forth. I didn't debate with him because I recognized the way that he thinks and even how none of it made any sense whatsoever. It didn't, So what now?
I got you, Chef. I know where we're going with this, right?
Talk to me.
So for everybody who's like me, who just won't let that thorn in their side, go away, I'm gonna say this: it's the NFL offseason, right?
Yes.
Every single sports show is looking for something else to talk about, right? You got the NBA playoffs, but that's particular to their fan base. If no one else talks about this, if this story dies within a week, then you know that there's more to it, because they need fodder. They'll if for certain stories, they will pull every single tweet anybody's ever written, every single fact document, go over it on this show, that show.
Wait, you got to clarify. They as in the NFL or they as in the media, aka the Fifth Estate?
The media will dissect it normally. So I'm more curious about things that they choose to glance over and not dissect when there's still questions to be had.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there. I think we won't know all the details because there's an ongoing investigation, and usually they can't, talk about it. Because if you remember, the very first, I'll let her answer the phone. The very first investigators that were on this were actually homicide. If you guys remember that, it was homicide, traffic control, or something like that. That was the first investigators that were on this case, and that's the one that I really I want to know everything that kind of took place in this. I don't think the story dies, because here's why. The NFL draft is in about 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the way that they are, and this is just strictly football, they're going to need a quarterback now. You're going to hear about this story for the next 3 weeks, but what you're wanting to know is the details that were surrounding it, right? Is that what I'm hearing, Vic?
Right.
Yeah, me too, man. I want to know the details that were surrounding it, because it was very curious to me. Homicide, like that, it wasn't just state patrol that showed up that was trying to investigate an accident. It was a homicide task force, not like not like a, CSI, nothing like that, but thinking that it could have been something other than that. So that's what I want to know. Why were they called at the beginning? What were the details that struck that action to have that particular group investigate this death?
Okay,
that's what I want to know.
So you're touching on something that I was alluding to, but I didn't want to say. But put it like this: people, I don't know how deep you've gone as far as in professional, but of the things that I've seen and the people that I've known, there are a lot of untold stories that happen in the NFL in particular. DUIs that never get reported.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Michael Irvin stabbed someone in the face and they never reported it. I'm just saying, things happen, and they know how to make stories that they don't want told go away. So because he hadn't made it to superstardom, I believe that it would be easier to allow this to kind of fall by the wayside. But because there isn't a lot going on in the NFL as far as news to report, I would like to see, like you say, how in depth they go into this investigation. Period. Because I smell a rat. Don't smell good.
So okay, so Vic, this is kind of interesting that you're bringing that up. Try to connect some dots. Okay, what's going on with the Washington Commanders right now with their front office issues and all the scandals that's been going on? And where did Dwayne Haskins play before he played in Pittsburgh? Okay. I mean, if you're an open homicide investigation for Florida Highway Patrol, that is kind of strange for me that would be an open homicide investigation. He was in Washington beforehand. I mean, this is all, one of those things where, I mean, you can start to connect some dots, but that would have some crazy implications, right? But this is also very interesting. Did you know that Dwayne Haskins' final online post said, "It is what it is, will keep you at peace"?
Well, wait, what? What did he say after he said, "It is what it is"?
Yeah, it said, "It is what it is, will keep you at peace," was his final post online.
Wow.
Man.
And see, that's why I'm very interested now, because I purposely did not inform myself about this, because I wanted to be able to ask the right questions, as some of our audience members may would like to ask, and I wanted to be the guy in the room who will just come in blank. But now I'm gonna be going back and doing my own research on this young man's life, and I would like to know more about him, as far as what kind of life was he leading at this point.
At this point he was living a good life. He married the woman. He was with Pittsburgh. He in his second season with Pittsburgh. He was on a 1-year contract with Pittsburgh Steelers. He was going to compete for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
Starting job. The starting job. Yep.
So he had his whole life.
Him versus Rudolph.
Does he have
and
children?
Trubisky.
Yeah, but we can't forget Mitch. Yeah.
Mr. Trubisky but he had his whole life. He was gonna turn 25 next month. He had his whole life to live for.
I'm still asking. Does he have children at all?
I think he does. I'm pretty sure that he has.
With the wife. I believe he has a child with the wife. Yes, I do.
I'm looking it up right now.
I just feel like.
Oh, he has no children. No children.
Okay, but he's survived by his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was worth about $30 million. He was a first round draft pick. He had an opportunity to be able to earn the starting job. He had everything in front of him, really. So that's what's I think that's part of the whole thing that makes this perplexing, right? Why is somebody of that status crossing a highway at that particular time in the morning? And then for me is, why is this an open homicide investigation? That to me makes it super serious.
Yeah,
like
no,
what is making them think that it could be?
What the toxicology report going to say? What's that toxicology report going to say?
I'm with Brandon.
Yeah. I want to know what was going on with that the dump truck driver. Did he swerve? Was there something there? Was there something there at the scene that looked like it was purposeful?
Let me tell you
an
something.
Open homicide investigation.
You know, in 2019, 3 years ago, and I'll tell you, I'm a FanDuel guy. I've made altogether maybe 20 something grand off of FanDuel since 2016. One of the craziest things that happened was I ended up making about $1,200 on FanDuel, and I had Tyler Skaggs in my lineup. And then days later, I get up and I hear Tyler Skaggs passed away. It made no sense to me. I didn't understand what happened. And I was like, oh man, maybe he just passed away in his sleep and all of that. But what happened with Tyler Skaggs? We ended up finding out that Tyler, he died within more nefarious means. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. We can say it was an error, but it wasn't a coincidental mistake. What was it? Oxyfentanyl that they found in the system. Fentanyl, oxy, and alcohol. Now, here goes the question. We always try to find the reasoning. Why? Does the reasoning matter? Is the reasoning something that is really necessary as cautionary tales? Or is the reasoning something that we use to take away the pain from it? Instead of saying the pain of that person passing and dealing with the coincidental pain, which is one of the hardest why questions, because those are the why questions we ask to God or whoever our God is, if you believe in Vishnu or Allah, whoever, or nature. The question is why? Why? So sometimes I believe that when we look for the reasoning, we're actually looking for it, not to find a cautionary tale, but to placate our own feelings. So we could say, damn, life is not as fragile. This person was just being an asshole. This person was just being high. That person was just drinking at the wheel. That person was being negligent. We ask a lot of whys, but those whys that we ask, is it for us to help others, or is it just for us to kind of pacify our own feelings of rage at the fact that life can be taken so easily? Interesting question. Wasn't trying to take you that deep down the rabbit hole, but you notice, my thumbnails mean something, even if it's not the same title. My thumbnails, in the middle of the thumbnail, it said why. That's the question. Why? But the thing is, the family, the loved ones, the people that played with him, the people that invested in him, the people that love him, the people he invested in, the people that you'll never hear about, that he said those kind words, helped pay a bill, spoke some some positivity into the ears of their children. We'll never know. I wonder how those people feel right now. And I'll be honest with you, and everybody watching, I swear in everything I know and love, I was originally thinking about doing this. Vic and I were thinking about doing this show on Sunday. But I said, nah, I need more information so that we do a more holistic approach to it. But in my soul, I was praying. There was no fucked up toxicology report. In my soul, I was praying. There was no mental infarction. In my brain, I was praying that it wasn't any kind of BS that people try to use. I was praying for it, and I'm still happy. As weird as it says when I say happy, please understand the depth of what I'm saying. I'm happy that we're still in a position where all we have to do is honor this young man's life and his contribution to this thing here, and his resilience in terms of being able to pick himself up and do something better. So I'm happy about it.
Instead of trying to tear the young man down.
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
Listen, man, and I'm not going to go and take it political, a lot of times, especially when I say our community, your Black brothers community, right? Sometimes we recognize when we have loss. Sometimes people go straight to try and find the mugshots. So a guy is dead, and then the first picture you get is not their graduation from high school or whatever. They try to find the mugshot. So in terms of this situation, there was no mugshot. You remember Aaron Hernandez and all of that?
Yes.
They had a whole lot of footage to go to. They had a lot of footage to go to.
And they still do, and they still show his mugshot. Still.
Yep. Bro. And in the end, when they find out how he was cannibalized to a certain degree, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. But listen, y'all, like I said, somebody told me that, hey, your thumbnail looks like a funeral flyer.
It did. Like you put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. And you know
I'm
what I
not looking at
said?
my thumbnails anymore, bro.
Right. They said my thumbnail looked like a funeral flyer. And that was so crazy. That was not the intent, but it ended up looking like it. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah. And guess what? I left it like that. Because when you talk about a funeral where you're celebrating life after the death of someone, we speak to the positive things of that person. And we allow those people that have to deal with their loss, who dealt with them every day, to think about the positive things, because those are the things that shall remain within their soul.
Yes.
So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one that came to join us in this exercise of honoring the young brother Dwayne Haskins. All I can say is this, so that we have an action step. Please be careful on the road.
Yes.
Please think about getting roadside assistance.
Amen.
If I worked for AT&T a lot of years. It only costs about $2.99, man. Just pay for it. Paid a couple extra dollars on your car insurance to have it. It's not expensive when you think about the loss that people experience. Let's just be careful, man. That's all I ask. Let's be careful and just think about how fragile life is. And think about, I'm not trying to scare you, but understand, step lively, especially if you have people that love you, people you love, people you're not finished mentoring, protecting, providing for, being a prophet, priest, king, and all of that for. if the king goes, there goes the kingdom. So let's be careful out here, man, and just show people love. That's all I got. So, I've been trying to get my boy Peeps up here on the show. So I'm going to let him explain to these folks what makes him a special soul within this universe. And please plug the channel while I pull it up for you, Peeps. And I'm going to put that into the chat as well.
I appreciate it, man. I don't know what makes me a special soul. Just to kind of add what you were talking about there, Guy, is,
Hold on. So by the record, everybody knows my name is Guy at this point. So you know he really knows me if he's calling me Guy. Don't worry about it, Peeps. You good, bro. You good.
My bad, Chef.
That's a big one. He's a big one right there.
That is. Light him up. Let him have it.
Right.
I just think the biggest thing is just to be kind. You never know what battle somebody is fighting. You don't know those things. So just be kind. Don't let poison run from your mouth. Nothing like that. Just be kind, be happy, be positive, and try to be of help and of service. Don't be somebody that's going to be a problem or going to be toxic. Speaking of my channel, I'm an author of a podcast stream called The Backyard Blitz. Me and my buddy Ronnie, we talk about football year round. So right now we're doing weekly. During the week we have bi-weekly. Wednesday we have a huge show. We're going to be unveiling our first round mock draft. We do have a competition sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings for a $50 Buffalo Wild Wings card for the closest to the actual results. So you can submit that on our channel at the Peepcast or at the Backyard Blitz at outlook.com. Guy likes to bring up that picture, man. My mother loves that picture, bro. Or I'm sorry, Chef, I did it again. Yeah, I got a chance playing football in Germany for 4 years. I lived over there for a long time, and I wasn't quite as lucky as Dwayne was to have the opportunities that he had. I had to grind every second. So my channel is basically just about talking ball. Just love to have that conversation and get the talk away from my wife so she doesn't have to hear about it 24/7, because she's like, you got to do something instead of talking football with me all the time.
Hey, my guy, I definitely appreciate you coming through. And remember, like I normally say to my folks that I really, really know in the real world, you always have a key to the crib. If you lost yours, the spare is under the rock on the left side of the bush. Andrea.
Yes, I just subscribed to your channel because I love ESPN. Okay, it's my favorite show. And Stephen A. Smith is my favorite sportscaster.
Oh my
God. So I will be watching your show and commenting because I love stuff like that. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I love Stephen A. Smith too. I actually have a video of me laughing when the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson. Like he laughs when the Cowboys lose. So I love that
guy. Okay. So I'm Andrea and I go by Hot in Cali, and it's all hot air.
Your turn, brother.
She's still cooking, bro. Go ahead.
Chef, you rush me, Chef, tonight?
Go ahead, Dre. He can't hear you. He, like he on the board.
I go by Hot in Cali, and I go by it's all hot air, and I just do interviews, positive interviews. I'm a foster mom, so I got a couple of interviews coming with foster parents, and I just did an interview with a guy in my neighborhood. He's a hairdresser, so just come check my channel out.
You got it.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon, you got a new subscriber. I'm gonna have to get off this stream before I do it, but I'm definitely coming to find your channel, bro.
I appreciate it, Vic.
I like what you brought today.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'll say this. First of all, if y'all want to find me, it's right there. Victor Freeze Music, all one word. You'll see this logo. Just find it and please subscribe if you would like. There's a lot of great content on there. If if you choose to check us out, a lot of the clips and things that we have from this channel will also be on my channel as well. So if you want to see some things in a shorter form, you can definitely catch some of those little hot takes over there as well. This is what I wanted to end with. And Chef, at some point we'll have this show and this conversation. It's a very important story to me. I'm not going to tell it now, but someone very important to me was said to have clocked themselves out. And I was a part of the cleanup committees, to say less. But nevertheless, there was only one person that was around that could have given us any light or any answer. But because of the time, I chose not to ask certain questions for the respect and the sake of the family. But 1 year later, to the day, that person who I had the questions for also chose to clock themselves out. So all of the answers that I would have liked to have had went with him. So for the Haskins family, I hope that you get all the answers that you would like and deserve for the peace of your own mind, if for no one else's. If it never makes a TV screen, I'll be glad for it, as long as you have peace in your heart to allow your child and your brother and whoever he was to you to go in peace and to have that peace in your heart. I guess if you got questions, ask them. But with that said, I appreciate everybody coming out. Peace to the whole chat. Shout out to the big homie sliding in there in the fourth quarter. I see you out there. Definitely come check us out. This is what we do. If you don't know what we do, this is it. Yeah. So there's different versions of this. Sometimes it's more intense. Sometimes it's more informative. What we cook over here and what we serve is healthy for the soul. So come get your fill.
Mm-hmm.
Come get your fill. I like that. I like that. I didn't always talk about my music stuff. I don't always talk about it when it's time I talk about it, you know, but I like being around a lot of different people that are humble. And what I mean humble, I don't mean based on celebrity, stardom, money. I believe people that possess a certain gift, a certain skill set. I'm in my Liam Neeson voice. I possess a certain skill set, but possess a certain skill set that they know that they're consistent, confident, you know, incredible in. But they come to the table with a high degree of humility. What you don't know, Brandon, is Andrea, one of the things that makes her special, she's a 20-year plus foster mother. So she takes care, she's been taking care of other people's children who no longer have parents legally and, you know, due to passing. She's been doing this for over 20 years, right? That's one of her superpowers. Loving children who don't have the ability to be loved by their own parents. That's one of her superpowers. Vic is a person, he brings a lot of balance to me, and in terms of all of the experiences that he's had within his life, he's seen a lot of things in his life, but he still retains the same level of balance within there. That's one of his superpowers. He brings that to me, and he's extremely humble with it, you know. But most certified guys and certified hoods, you know, they would show him a high degree of respect, right? And then we get to a guy like you. For the record, you know, he was a professional football player. He wasn't just, it wasn't a German Pop Warner, Brandon Peebler. You Google him, The Fly. He was a professional football player overseas. Real talk. And he's bringing this thing to YouTube and he's not even pressing. You know, that's just me making sure the homie, folks know that the homie is certified, but he's not even pressing that angle, you know. So you come here, that's what you get. That's what you get. So for the record, if you ever see me doing a conversation about sports talk, I more than likely won't do it if I don't get Peebs in the mix. Pay close attention. You were here first. We're going to call him Brandon A. Smith. But more likable. The black folks don't even be liking Stephen A. Smith.
That's funny, man.
Yo, you my dude, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Andrea.
Yeah.
Victor Freeze, you know what it is. And all I can say to the chat is peace, love, and light to all of you.
Yes.
Those on the stage, stick around for a second. But there's a way that we end the show out to make sure that folks understand it's not just about talk, it's about vibes. So let's get vibing, y'all. Peace and love.
Our phone jump is the weekend. Dream come true with the freak friends. Hitting on doors, that's a defense. Rolling with all, that's that offense. It me change, you let me preaching. With our bullshit to my maybe drop ins. So they won't buy, and I say, so they won't buy you to keep playing. Baby, tell me what you want. Julian, I know you live from. Ever since remember we been knocking at the door. Y'all been moving paper, we be running up the school. Y'all before that pillar, we was sleeping on the floor. West side Africa, you know the shit ain't wrong. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Pop it, baby. Come roll with me. All night long. As times relax, my mind's relaxed. I got now from who got next. Here's my number, just send a text. You got a man and she responds, nah. Okay, showing up. I'ma let you go, don't wanna hold you up. I'ma call your phone when I put it up. Whoever let you go must be dumb as fuck. Wait for. Girl, you so fine, I pay for. Fly you first class to the lake for. Body so blessed, I pray for. Body so blessed, I pray for. Because I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. My nigga, I killed it. Night long.
This the part when you get your girl, nigga. Make sure she focused, nigga. Make sure you focus, nigga. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, hit it.
I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say. We don't care. Vibing, driving all night long. I don't care what they say.
That's a hit for your ass, nigga. Hit for your ass, nigga.
You know how we do. Peace, love, and light. Chef out.